Hello, guys. Welcome back, my beautiful people. It's your girl, a testimony to tell. Rosalind Rochelle here, calling with an update on my VSG surgery and experience. It's been a while. It's been at least a week. I So I went in last Tuesday to have my VSG, and it was successful initially. Um, there's another video that I made just before this one that I want to post. Um, I was in the hospital, and so I posted a video. Well, I filmed a video, but I didn't post it. I went ahead with the surgery. They did the surgery successful. Um, I I was released that day after recovery. Um, I recovered, I think, probably a couple of hours, 2 or 3 hours, and I was released back home. And so I came home and I just passed out on the bed. I fell asleep. I mean, I hadn't slept the night prior to surgery. And so, so I was pretty out of it. Fortunately, I didn't have any gas pain. I didn't have any pain at all. I was just really woozy from the anesthesia. Um, and so when I came home and went to bed, and I slept for hours, and my granddaughter came and she looked upon me and said that I was bleeding from my incision. And it turns out I was laying on my side. They didn't tell me any particular way to lay, but I am a side sleeper and a back sleeper. So I was laying on my side and I was just bleeding out basically. And so I got up. She was going to change my bandages for me. And I got up and I sat on the side of the bed. And I was still woozy. I was just out of it. And she left to go in the bathroom for something. And she came back, and I was on the floor on the side of the bed, just passed out, laying on my side. I asked her for a pillow. She was she said that I was convulsing. My eyes were rolled back and my leg was twitching. And I just said, "Hey, give me a pillow." I didn't know what was going on, but she was freaking out, and she wanted me to, give her advice and say, should I call the ambulance? And I was like, well, I say, well, yeah, you can call the ambulance. And so they came and found me on the floor by my bed, stretched out on my side, and just bleeding away. And I don't even. Oh, I was telling her to get the camera because I wanted her to film for my YouTube journey. This would have been great documentation for my YouTube channel. But she was in a panic and she just didn't feel comfortable doing that. So, and I understood. But as they were working on me, they had to maneuver me out of this corner that I had fell into. And so they didn't take me out by a stretcher, a gurney. They had this they had this like canvas type of thing where they had to roll me on one side and they put it under me and then they rolled me back on the other side and they carried me out like a taco. So they carried me out like a taco and they put me in the paramedics van. And that's when they started to go to work on me and they gave me some I don't know what they did to me, but anyway, I lost track of Shaylee. All I know, I could hear her talking to somebody on the phone, and I assume it was probably Lisa, my friend. And so anyway, they carried me on to the emergency room at Seton Hospital, and what did they do there? Um, I don't even remember. I was just in and out, in and out. They were in and out. I don't even know when Shaylee and Lisa showed up. And they gave me some IV fluids because I was dehydrated. And they did an x-ray on me to see if I had did any damage to my incisions because I was bleeding pretty badly. And and so they I don't know what they did, guys. Um, all I know is I was in and out. I had a seizure when I had a seizure at home, and that's when they took me to the hospital, and they did some work on me in the emergency room, and they admitted me overnight. They did some tests. They did a CT of they did an MRI of my brain because I had had a stroke back in 2019. And so they thought that maybe the stroke and the seizure were related. And, but turns out my brain was, you know, nothing stood out. I mean, everything was in normal limits. And they did a kidney function, or they did a CT of my kidney because I had some kidney issues prior, a couple of years ago. And yeah, so all of my records are at Seton, and that's why I choose Seton to go to because they have a history of all of my records of everything that I've been through. So I would not choose any other hospital other than Seton Hospital to go to. But that's not important, is it? But I guess it was important because it they had the information that was needed or in order to treat me. So anyway, they were going to discharge me that night, and I wanted to see if I could stand up and maybe go to the restroom because I hadn't peed, and so the nurse, the male nurse, pulled me to the end of the bed, and I tried to stand up, and then all of a sudden I went limp. My body just, I guess, I don't know what it did. I passed out. I gave him a good hug because I was trying to hold on, and they managed to get me back in the bed, and I had an accident on myself, and so from that point they just decided to keep me. and they ordered a bed for me on the upper floors, and it took a while for me to get, a bed. And but anyway, but my friend Lisa and my granddaughter, they were there the whole time, giving me support and love, and I really appreciate them. And I couldn't ask for a better support system. And anyway, so I managed to get to a floor, and turns out I needed a blood transfusion because I had lost so much blood. My labs showed that I had lost a lot of blood, so they gave me a pint and a half of blood, and so and they gave me some medicines, and they gave me a seizure medicine. And I don't have epilepsy, but one of the causes for a seizure is a lack of sleep. And in my last video, or in the video before this one, I had said that I hadn't had any sleep the night before. And I think with that, coupled with forced, uh, with being forced to sleep for the procedure, it kind of screwed up my neuropath, path, path of nerves or whatever. And so that's what caused the seizure. And so I've had two seizures, one when I was at home, and I had another in the hospital. And and I haven't had another one since. And so the doctor came and saw me, the surgeon. He came to see me, and he said for me to call and get an appointment with him this coming up week. And so I caught a cold, guys. I was in the hospital, came home, and all of a sudden I came down with a cough or a cold. I became stuffy, so it was hard for me to cough, especially since having just had surgery. And so this is day 8 of me having the surgery. I had it last Tuesday. I was intending to make this video yesterday, but I was still recovering. I mean, it took a few days for me to just work out all the medications that they gave me out of my system. I've walked around through the house. I haven't drank water like I should, because I think you're supposed to have quite a few ounces of water, like 60 or 70, and I haven't even had near about that much. I may have had 30 ounces of water, and I haven't had any food. I've had some soups, a little bit of soup. I've had some sugar-free Jell-O, but that's it. I mostly slept in the bed. Just that's the only place I've been. And during that time, I came home on on the 25th. So, second, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I came home, I think that Saturday or that Friday. I don't know. And I just came straight to bed and just slept. And I just haven't done anything. I haven't had any motivation to do anything. And so today I gradually became more and more active. Like I took out the trash. I washed some dishes, but it wasn't that many dishes to wash. I wrapped some packages for the mailman because I had made some sales while I was in the hospital. I sell on eBay and Poshmark, so I made a few sales. And but did that and then came right back to bed. And the strangest thing is I haven't been able to sleep at night, but maybe that's because I was coming down with a cold. But anyway, so I started taking some Mucinex, and that kind of broke up the mucus that was building up in my head, and it hurts so bad to cough. Oh my God, guys! I just knew I was gonna pop a stitch, and but those stitches held strong, and now I'm just on the tail end of some sinus drainage and just the last of a loose cough, and so I wanted to get up today and go do some shopping because I feel like I have worked out most of the medicines. I've just stopped taking all of my medications. I've stopped taking my diabetes medication because I'm not eating anything. So there's no need to take medications that's going to lower my blood sugar, if I'm not eating anything. Um, I stopped taking and this was not doctor's orders. Sometimes you just have to do things uh, that your body tells you to do. Your doctor is there and doctors that don't know you because I was treated in the hospital and they gave me what I needed at the time. They gave me some anti-seizure medication. But once I read the side effects of that medication, because they did, send a, um, a prescription home with me. Once I read the side effects of that anti-seizure medication, I was like, oh no. I mean, it gives you aggression. It sends you into psychosis, and I'm like, oh no, I won't take that. Because I don't have epilepsy, and I was supposed to. They gave me 3 months worth, and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that to my body. So I chose, to not take some medications, no blood pressure medication because my blood pressure has been under control the last few months because I have been following a good diet. So I haven't really cheated on my diet as far as eating high in salt foods or excuse me. So, excuse me about that. Um, but so, so yeah, I just my blood thinner. I stopped taking that. My atorvastatin. I stopped taking that. That's a cholesterol medication. So I just stopped taking all of my medication, and you know what? I feel so much more better because I don't have. I've worked out. I've peed out all of that stuff. And so I pretty much feel normal. And I haven't felt that way in a long time because I've been bogging down my body with so much medication. And so, anyway, I am going to, I've talked enough. It's almost 20 minutes. But yeah, guys, so I've been through the ringer. So today is eighth day since surgery. I haven't, I've weighed myself one time, that was a couple of days ago. And, with me being, you know, full of air and gas, um, I really haven't had any gas pains per se. Some people have that kind of acid reflux, kind of regurgitation up in the throat. But I haven't had that. I've had flatulence. I've farted out all my gas, and it felt good because my stomach each time I fart, it's like I feel my stomach go down just a little bit. It's releasing out the air, and that's the perfect way for me to release, because if it was to come back up the other way, I mean, I haven't burped at all, and that burns, I'm sure. I've seen lots of videos, and that way is not doesn't feel very good. So my surgeon did the right thing. I don't know what he did, but he did his thing. And so I've got an appointment with him next Wednesday to follow up, and hopefully I can go from liquids to some mushy foods. And I've been watching some YouTube videos of um, post-op experiences and what people eat in a day, and I've come up with some ideas on what I'm gonna eat, going forward, and meal prep. I ordered me some little mason jars, little 4-ounce jars of mason jars with lids, so I can meal prep my meals. And so so you'll be hearing more from me. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get up and get ready to go out. I think I'm gonna go buy me a new wig and go shopping, go thrifting, and yeah, and just pamper myself. My granddaughter wanted to take me to go get a pedicure, so I'm gonna take her up on that. And um, so yeah, you guys, I'll be tuning in again, and stay tuned. If any of this is interesting to you, my life's journey, I suffer from depression, and and uh, and and I haven't taken any depression medication either. So antidepressant medication either. Which, if anything, that's the one thing that I will start back. And it's really not an antidepressant. It's more of an anti-anxiety medication, because sometimes I can get over anxious when I'm in certain situations. So that's one thing that I may start up back. But everything else, I'm going to wait and go back to my primary care doctor probably in May, just to follow up with my primary care doctor and have some new labs done. And depending on how those labs are, then that will determine whether or not I will incorporate some more, some of the medications that I've discontinued on my own, whether or not I will reincorporate those medications. And I have started taking my vitamins, my bariatric vitamins. I only take one a day. And also, too, I want to start, I feel that I'm losing weight. I don't want to tell you how much I've lost, because it's really not a true accurate picture, because I have been bloated. So, and I have expelled some gas, and it's only been 8 days since the surgery, and it takes some time to release all that gas out. And so, to get a true picture, I'll wait until next Wednesday when I have an update with my bariatric surgeon, and then just go from there. And and so anyway, so if you like any of this content, I will place a playlist of some of my previous bariatric VSG videos, and go back and to the beginning, where I talk about my depression and my childhood, and because all of those things played a part in my obesity journey. You know, it's how I dealt with overeating, comfort food. I overate. I exercised and lost weight, but if something was to happen, some traumatic event, I would turn to food. And so that's always helpful to find out the source of an addiction. And overeating is an addiction. And so, okay, I'm going to let y'all go because, but subscribe and like this video. None of these videos are edited. I just, record and play and then post them just as is, because I'm an open book and there's no need to edit. So anyway, so yeah, like and subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Bye.